don't see how we can make bigger enemies.
To be offended or frightened of everything.
So you've become like the sort of Tony Scarface of podcasting.
Ni hao, everyone! Ni hao! Just preparing for the upcoming shift of power. Welcome, everyone, to the morning show. Good morning. We are back. I have returned. I'm not... What are you saying?
I don't know.
Chifu.
But I'm communicating.
Chifu. My name is Phil Balabanos. Sitting here in my chair again after a little tiny hiatus. Sorry about that, guys. Everybody got sick at home. I'm 1 pound closer to my target weight now after fucking the worst gastro of my life. But I'm back. And George is also here. George, the host of many a podcast. Now he has a new podcast channel. I don't even know what to call it. It's called Politiquement Parlant.
Politiquement Parlant. It's a brand new podcast.
Politiquement Parlant. Yeah, because it's with Haitian people, right?
No.
Politiquement Parlant.
Yeah, it's a brand new podcast. It's in French. And basically, it's the equivalent of the Backstage podcast, but in French. So
very squeaky. This,
head on over and subscribe to that. Not Facebook. We're not Facebook.
You know what else is squeaky?
The wheel. That needs grease. Hey, okay. So George has a new podcast. Like you said, you can check it out. The Backstage still happening or no longer happening?
The Backstage is still there. The Just As That is pretty much done.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's have a moment of silence.
Yeah.
Oh no, the chupapis.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Chupapi is no longer Papi. They just chew. And Poseidon is over there on the controls on time today. Just made it. We were nervous. I texted to make sure he was coming.
You know, I actually woke up on time and everything, and I was in the shower, and in the shower was contemplating, I'm like,
masturbating.
Bro, do I just ruin my life? I was like, nah, I gotta go.
You're gonna put the shampoo bottle inside you, right?
What?
You're gonna put the shampoo bottle inside you, right? This guy.
How do you ruin your life in the shower?
No, I
just told you.
By just being late.
Yeah, no, that's a weird thing to even contemplate.
But I was like, no,
I have that many responsibilities.
I have a responsibility. I must honor it.
All right, Water Bear, whatever you say.
I have a responsibility
I knew
to the Republic
that's why I took a pause. I'm
of
like,
Catalonia and to the populace
the United...
that come to get what they ask for.
They don't get what they ask for. They get what they deserve.
There you go.
I mean, at this point, if you're subscribed to the Patreon, where you can get early access to all kinds of things, you're geting what you deserve.
And
there's all kinds of shows on.
Where might they go on Patreon?
Patreon.com/Pantelis.
There you have it.
Also, you can go to panteliscomedy.com. And you can see all the tour dates and buy tickets.
Poseidon69 or I am Poseidon.
Poseidon69 on Instagram and Twitter. I went on a Twitter tirade recently, and
I saw you yelling at Melanie Jolie.
Also, IamPoseidon.com is my website.
Yeah, IamPoseidon.com.
Yes.
A lovely website.
I yelled at everyone. I yelled at people complaining about the new Budweiser beer.
I didn't hear about that.
What's the new Budweiser?
I don't know, but I just know that
is it a commercial?
He confused
Okay.
Justin Trudeau with Melanie Jolie on Twitter, and it was fucking hilarious.
It could easily be
So
done.
Budweiser.
It happens.
Budweiser, basically, they put the rainbow on their packaging.
Oh, okay.
Basically, and they have this new trans spokesperson from TikTok.
What? A trans?
A trans influencer.
Trans
like-
woman, trans man, trans they?
It's a
What kind of
man
trans?
turned into a woman, allegedly.
Whatever, a trans person.
Female
Yeah.
to male.
I
I just wanted to get some clarification on the topic.
important.
That's all.
One of them transmissions always changing on you.
Stop stealing meme
What?
captions.
No,
and
I just
turning
came
them
up
into
with
jokes.
that.
Uh-huh.
I swear to God.
No one's ever made the transmission joke.
No, I've
Okay,
never
and
seen
then
it.
what happened?
And people were upset online.
Like fucking bouncing
I
around.
almost died. Go on.
Okay, everyone's
And
yeah.
people were upset outside on Twitter. I mean, sorry, outside. Jesus Christ.
Get there, bro. Get there.
And bro, I just woke up. I didn't even have
Oh
coffee.
God.
Hold. Please hold, people. It's getting there. We're getting
Yeah,
there.
he only has 3
So
songs.
people were upset, and somebody wrote rule number 1: know your demographic that you're selling to.
Yeah.
And then I wrote under, well, they're kind of respecting that rule pretty well, insinuating that
I get the joke. It's weak.
Yes.
It's weak sauce.
it's weak. And then somebody says, you're drunk. And I go, of course I am, because I drink real liquor like a real man, not beer for homosexuals. And a few other
Okay.
stuff.
So was this a Budweiser like regular Bud or was it Bud Light?
Budweiser, regular Bud.
Oh, Bud Light I get. Like you do a Bud Light commercial.
No,
you-
no.
I've never drank.
I don't
Budweiser.
drink beer.
I tried to drink Budweiser once. Oh, no, it was Bud Light. Sorry, it was the blue one. It was
so
the
they
blue
were playing to the
packaging.
demographic.
Yeah, it was the blue one. You're right, yeah.
But I don't drink beer in general. I don't like it. I mean, I'll have like a really cold beer on the beach. Someone gives it to me, but I'll never seek it out. Like
I like Greek beer.
I like Greek beer.
very
too,
Greek
yeah.
beer, Italian beer. I like European beer. I don't like American beer.
Like yeah, me neither.
Even German beer, Northern European. I don't like Northern
the
European
dark
beer.
beer, the
Yeah.
lagers. What are they called?
Yeah, I like the
I
light
mean, I like
ones.
Heineken in the summer. If someone gives it to me, I'll
That's
drink
Northern
it. But
European.
I'll never finish it. Like I'll start it, and then I'll be like, meh.
It doesn't feel refreshing.
No, it doesn't. It makes me feel heavy, like I ate
Yes,
something.
yes, me too.
Like bloated. Remember my dad when I was a kid? He used to put salt in beer. I was like, why? He goes, it makes it less bloat. I'm like,
What? Really?
and he doesn't drink beer. He's not a beer guy.
I've seen that a lot.
I don't know if it's a
a
real
lot of people
thing,
do
though.
that actually.
You want to try Greek beer? You should try Greek beer.
Yeah.
Rose.
There's Alpha Fix.
There's a lot of
Mythos.
Fix available here. You can buy Fix at the SAQ
Yeah.
now.
Fix?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Never seen.
Is that the one that has like an orangey?
No,
taste
it's the
to it?
blue
It's the
one,
one that
uh,
says fix on
Fix
it.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not orange. Oh, the bottle is orangey. Yeah. It's
No,
a
no,
little
but
chubby.
no,
It's
but
a
it
chubby
even
bottle.
has a bit of an orangey taste to it. I think.
No, not at all. Not even a little bit.
I'm probably thinking of
It's
another
like a
beer.
blonde, like very classic blonde beer. It's very good actually.
But this whole thing about now that you mentioned the recognition of gay and trans and LGBTQ thing, whatever,
Plus.
it's spilling over into all these things. Like I don't know if you guys have been following in the NHL where they do their warm ups now and they wear the pride shirts.
I don't follow the NHL, but I've heard about it.
I don't follow the NHL either, but occasionally, like I'll watch it and they wear the for the
They wear the
for
little,
the pre-skate
banner,
whatever
yeah.
the fuck
There's someone who refuses to wear it now, eh?
And there's a bunch of players. Like yesterday, where was it? I can't remember which game. They honored Pride Month or whatever it was, but they didn't wear their jerseys. In Buffalo, I think they came out with the jerseys, but I think they had a Russian player that refused to wear it.
Seems very Russian of him.
Well, he said the excuse he used was that, listen, man, homosexuals are persecuted back in Russia. I still have family over there. I can't take this risk, blah, blah, blah.
That's a fucking great excuse. That's amazing.
Isn't
That's
it?
the best excuse I've ever heard.
But because it could also be true, though. You're like,
No,
you know,
that's why
it
it's
makes
amazing.
sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like, look, guys, do your thing.
Look
but,
what's
like,
happening.
I don't want my family to die.
Yeah,
'cause
look
you're
what's
sucking
happening
dicks,
back
yeah.
home. Already there's.
I've said this
fucking-
before. I don't understand how the trans movement became associated so like inseparately. Like it's no longer mutually exclusive one from the other with the homosexual lifestyle. That's not the right word. I don't know what they're called. Like being trans is one thing. Being gay or lesbian is another thing completely. Like they're
Yeah.
two very different things. And I keep seeing videos pop up in my feeds of people from the gay community, like leaders in the gay community, who are like, yeah, listen, I don't know how we got stuck with all these. Like, these people are clearly crazy, some of them.
Because they put everyone under one umbrella, basically.
Yeah, it was weird.
What did you say about the Russians? What did they do?
Too late. You missed that boat.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah,
stop.
okay.
Jesus fucking Christ. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
separate things. That's what, yeah. I was reading the chat. Sorry. I forget sometimes that when I read the chat, you can't hear my brain. So I'm having like live conversations with the chat.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I don't know. We live in strange times. That's for sure.
Look,
Like, to say the least.
Personally, I really don't care.
either.
It doesn't bother me. The people don't bother me. I have absolutely no problem with anyone, and it's just fascinating to me how in recent years, maybe the last 2-3 years, they've really upped their game on their lobbying and their
You would think
Suspicious.
from the sound of their cries, their shouting, whatever you want to call it, you would assume that they're a majority. You would never it's disproportionate the amount of noise that's made over it on both sides, people pro and against. it doesn't make any sense. Like this is a small percentage of society, and I'm not talking about homosexuals. I'm talking about people who are identify as trans or non-binary or eggplants. Like those people.
Can we address the word homosexual for a second?
Yeah, sure.
I really like the word.
It's a good word.
It's a very good word.
Yeah, I think it's a good word. It makes sense.
Like just the way it rolls off the tongue. Homosexual. I feel like you could really play with it.
It's weird to me that they're so loud compared to the rest of us. Yeah. It's definitely a concerning statistic.
Yeah, but you were saying there are.
I don't fucking know what I was
You were
saying.
saying that there were
My
small.
brain just rebooted. It was like,
There are a
not-
small percentage, but they make a lot of noise.
they make a lot of noise. They're definitely loud and out in that sense. But their rights to do what they want to do, are they really that important in the grand scheme of like the history of the world? I don't think they are. I mean, they're not unimportant, but like
Well,
there
let's
are more
put it-
important
let's
things
put it
we
like
should be
this.
discussing. Let's put it in no way or Poseidon terms, please.
The mysterious thing in this.
I'm towing a fine line.
Without us, there's no them. Without them, there's still us. Did you understand?
Let me just take a sip of the coffee.
Late-term abortions. The consequences of forbidding them. No.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop.
See the
You're not even amused by you right now.
the
It's hard to get a thought in. I know it's hard.
The fascinating thing is that normally their rights should technically, like what fascinates me is that they're advocating for their rights and freedoms, but technically
But they have those rights and freedoms.
They're incorporated in the rights and freedoms, right? I mean,
Look,
they're- but are they really? That's the
when women
question.
fought, suffragettes. Is that what they were called? The women's right movement.
Okay.
Suffrage is, I forget the term.
Okay,
right now, I'm
whatever.
sorry. They fought for the right to vote. They weren't allowed to vote.
Yeah.
Black people were owned. They fought to not be owned,
Yeah.
to be free.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Those are things that I can clearly see there's something to fight for here. I'm not really sure what rights. Like you're allowed, if you're a guy,
I
and
mean,
you
they're
want to dress as a
protected.
woman, you can dress as a woman.
Yeah.
No one's stopping you.
Yeah, they're protected under their individual rights and freedoms, but I don't know. Like
Celestial pneuma. Pneuma. It would be nice if they could define their rights. I would like to know. Yeah, define them. Make me a box. I want to know what is it you want exactly?
yeah, but I don't know if we should go down that road because then you're going to have another group that are going to want their own selective definition.
We all have the same rights. Isn't that what we're striving for?
Exactly.
Equality.
The big question is this. You mentioned before that black people used to be owned and now they're not, right? If
Not
today,
officially,
but
yeah.
whatever. We all understand what you're saying.
No, I mean officially they're not owned today. We're all
That's
owned.
sad.
Like
We're all owned.
if today you walk into a house and you see a black slave, like I own this person,
Like
you're gonna
your
be
house.
okay, something's fucking wrong
There's
over
some
here.
kinky shit up in this bitch.
Yeah, you're like, okay, something's fucking wrong over here, right? But
And then you just deliver the pizza and leave.
Oh, there's a but. Hold on.
no. So you have that. So I just want to contrast. Okay, so you have that where you know that it's wrong, and then,
illegal.
and illegal, obviously.
Human trafficking.
And then you have a situation where a trans person doesn't get a job because of the way they dress, kind of thing, right? Technically, their rights should be protected.
They've been
but they're in
discriminated
a
against.
situation where, there's a lot of discrimination. So is that not allowed? So why are we kind of closing our eyes and saying, no, dude, you have rights. Don't worry.
I got
the
I
fuck
got
did
into
you
this
just say?
argument with I think it was my sister a couple months back. 'Cause my sister, because of her position at work, she hires a lot of people. Like she's one of the last managers that sees people before they're hired and interviews them. And I noticed that she added pronouns to her LinkedIn, and I was trolling her hard.
you
right?
told me about that,
I was
yeah.
like, "Why are you doing this? What's
But
wrong
do you
with
guys
you?"
know why people are upset with this community, right?
How about he finishes first?
I'm sorry.
Story that I started.
Yeah. So she put
So she put pronouns, and I busted her balls about it.
You busted her balls about it.
I busted her balls about it. She goes, I have to because these new hires, they want to know that they're being hired into an environment that's open and woke.
See, that
basically.
bothers me.
What a bunch of
So I was
fags.
like, oh, okay. I was like, look, and I had this conversation with her. I go, look, if I was hiring someone for any job, okay, and I had, 5 people who had all the exact same skill set, I would then choose the person that I felt the most similar to, in the sense that like we have similar worldviews, someone who I could work with, who I could spend time with if I had to.
that has the best qualifications for the job.
They all have
and
the
that
same
fit.
qualifications. They're all equally.
So who fits in better, kind of thing?
Let's say one is black, one is white, one
Yeah.
is a woman, one is they, whatever. none of that matters until it starts to get down to, okay, who am I going to work best with?
Yeah.
Right? So if you have pronouns in your fucking CV, like if you already, before I've even given you the job, you've already come in and you're like, this is how you will address me.
Mm-hmm.
You want to bring it up while we're talking, like, hey, by the way, I prefer this.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be militant about it, I don't want you around.
Mm.
Like, I'm lucky it doesn't come up often. I don't hire people. I hire contractors mostly. And most of the contractors I hire, I mean, it hasn't come up that many. It's come up once or twice.
But you don't care either.
I mean,
You
I've
base
had
it on the
people ask
talent,
me-
right? You base it on their quality of work.
I've had people ask me what my pronouns are when I'm interviewing them. And I like chuckle. I'm like, what the fuck are you
God.
talking about?
Yeah.
Like, that is a dumb question. I clearly have not stipulated or said or hinted at anything out of the ordinary. Why would you go out of your way? Are you virtue signaling? You're just showing me that you're woke.
But what bothers me is this. What does it matter?
What does what matter?
The fact that you have those, like, that's what's always bugged me. Like, what do I care? Like, why does it matter how you identify? Like, they, blah, 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 she, her, or
What does
whatever.
it matter? To whom?
To anyone, like, like, why does it matter to put that? Like, I don't
If
get
I
it.
just started calling you, hey, George, have you guys seen George? She's such a bitch. She's always running her mouth.
Stupid,
That
yeah.
George. It's weird, right?
Yeah.
And it would upset you, right? He's doing stupidity. He's playing audio and I can hear
I
it.
know.
He's doing some nonsense. What do you just tell me what you're doing?
It's okay.
So unprofessional. Hey, just tell me.
We're not hearing. We're not
No, it's not an
listening.
option anymore to continue. I'm
I
halting
don't
the
know
show.
why. I don't know why, but this made me laugh so hard. This made me laugh so hard. I don't know why.
I'm sorry, guys. What is that?
Poisson. Someone
Croissant?
Poisson. I heard poisson.
I don't know why that makes me laugh. It's just, I don't know.
I know why, but I'm not allowed to
Kids,
say it on the air.
just don't do drugs. All right? Just don't. Just, say no. Yeah. So I don't understand why it matters so much for people to impose that on others, or for
No,
example, in
that's
your
the point
sister's case,
I was trying to make the point.
to show that this is how we are over here. All right, don't worry, respect. I'm a she, her, whatever. Who cares?
If you look like George, you just fart.
No, I snorted.
Oh, if you look like George and you dress like George,
Oh, shit.
how am I supposed to fucking know that you identify as a she? Clearly, you have some kind of problem.
This is such a messed up
It's
situation.
a weird
Fuck.
situation because, like, we're just playing with language now. It's nonsense. I understand that if you're a woman or a man, like you, the example I use, I start using only feminine articles and pronouns for you, not articles. And then, I mean, in Greek it works so much better because it's used as an insult, which is amazing. Like, you just switch to feminine. He did fart. He
No, I
laughed so
didn't.
hard he fucking exuded fucking farts from
Okay,
his
so
skin.
look, Jorge Rosales dropped $2.20.
Thank
I
you,
know,
Jorge.
and
Where were you
Super chat.
10 minutes ago when you did it?
Well, you keep complaining about me interrupting. I'm sorry. Okay, drag queen summer camp paid by your taxes. By our taxes. Google it.
Drag Queen Summer Camp. Yeah, I've read about this.
I googled it.
That whole drag thing,
speaking of the
for
drag
kids
thing,
is
yeah.
really odd. Because drag is I mean, it's an art form for sure, like
Yeah.
cabaret drag style stuff. But at the same time, it's very sexual. Like, I don't care what you say, it's sexual.
It depends on how you.
No, George. No, George. A man dressed as a sexy lady, that's a sexual expression.
It depends.
It's art.
It-
Yeah, I
it-
defend its right to exist.
You seem rather upset about it.
It has no place around children.
Around.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
A drag show. I've been to a
But
drag
is
show.
this,
They're fun.
is this mandatory?
What's mandatory?
Is
No,
the-
you don't. It's not part of the curriculum. You don't have to do the drag show.
So, because this has been.
I know it's not a sexy lady, Rosalie.
No, but see, look, it depends what kind of drag. Like, so just so we can
It
circle
really
back.
doesn't. But go on.
It's an issue here this week because
Yeah, this
there's a
week.
famous drag queen
enthusiast.
A drag princess.
called Barbada. Okay, so she's
Barbada?
Barbada. So
What are their pronouns?
I don't know.
She or he?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Okay. So Barbada.
So she's pretty popular, and the schools used to invite her, and she would go and read stories to kids, dressed in her outfit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's some schools that, with everything happening, banned her, and it became such a big issue that the National Assembly had to support a motion to protect the drag queens, in society or whatever the fuck. And so the question now, because I've been reading a lot about this, is what does it change if your kid in school is read a story by someone that dresses up as a clown?
Okay.
Because you're in costume, you're right.
That's disrespectful to call her that, but go on.
No. I'm just saying, like, because a lot of
an actual clown.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
not a farce.
No.
Go on.
Okay. Versus someone else that puts makeup on and dresses as a girl.
Here's my.
Is there a difference?
There is a difference.
There is. One of
So
them is
here's-
sexualized. The other one isn't.
But
Here's
it's
my
not
difference.
like they're coming out with a fucking little bikini, whatever. He has like
No,
a
but it
full
doesn't
gown
matter, but
on
the whole
and a
point-
wig.
Hold on,
Show
hold
me a
on,
picture.
Hold on, George. The
'Cause
whole
I'm
point
gonna
of
say something.
the whole point of a drag queen is it's overtly
To embrace the
sexualized.
feminine sexuality, right?
Exactly.
You can't get a video
So
on a
everything
plate, but-
about drag is sexual.
Like she's just wearing a huge wig, a big dress.
Okay, now show me
Let
the
me
drag
see.
queen.
That's her.
Let me
I thought
see.
that
Let me
was
see.
the clown.
No.
Let me see. Let me see.
So here's the thing about drag. First of all, Rosalie said in the chat, they're just reading in drag, right? And that's this situation, Barbada. They're not doing a drag show.
Yeah.
But there have been, and I've seen the videos
Right.
of these
But why
shows
can't you read a
where they're on a
story?
fucking pole,
Okay, that's disturbing.
okay?
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. I'm going to counter your question with a question. Your kid comes home, they're like, Daddy, today we had story time with, I don't know, Jean-Luc Lefebvre, some random guy.
yeah.
And you're like, cool. And they're like, they posted pictures in our class dojo thing, whatever. And you're like, okay. And you go, and the guy's wearing, what do they call it? A zizifyogo?
A bow tie.
Thank you.
Okay.
A zizifyogo. That's what my grandfather used to call transvestites. Zizifyogo. Such a great word. Anyways,
Oh my god. Okay.
man was a legend.
Oh my god. What the fuck is he talking about?
I'm dead.
Okay.
My brain just switched. It was like, Zizifyogo.
So yeah, so he's
So he's
wearing a bow tie.
a bow tie and a collar and a speedo, okay, and cufflink sleeves. Clearly sexual.
Yes.
He didn't do anything sexual, but his fucking lumpy rumpy
Yeah.
was hanging out.
Like in Mykonos, like the elephant
Yes.
thongs.
Oh yeah. yes, exactly. And he
on,
reads
bro,
them a
hold
book.
on, bro,
Is that
because-
okay?
because
Hold on
I'm getting
one second.
pissed off in
Let me
the
just get to
chat.
the point. Is that okay?
That's not okay.
How about a woman comes and she's dressed? I don't know. She's dressed like Kim Kardashian
Like
in the video she made with Ray J.
okay, yeah. Because Kim
Is that
Kardashian,
okay?
she's looked beautiful. Kim
Yeah, I
Kardashian.
know.
Okay,
I confused her with Nicki Minaj.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, I
no.
mix all these
Look,
spray tan
I
bitches.
think
Hold on.
that-
Hold on, because Rosalie pissed me off a little bit in the chat.
She's trolling you.
No, she's not. I think she's serious. And the other guy, drag is 100% sexual. This has been admitted by drag queens.
It's an art form, though. I will
It's an art
defend it.
form. No, it's
I think
100%
and
an
it
art
has a
form.
place in society.
And of course,
depends,
a horse,
man.
like every other art form. I agree. But and then Rosalie says, I grew up with the Pussycat Dolls on my TV. Yeah, well, you know what the fucking difference is? The difference is the other one, you had to seek it out. This is now being forced onto children.
I
That's
would
the issue.
argue-
And drag queens have repeatedly said, even other drag queens have repeatedly said, yo, why the fuck are these fucking retards trying to force this shit down children's
Yeah, I've
throats?
seen it. But at the same time,
Like,
I
even-
don't disagree with her either. Because the
do you-
Pussycat Dolls and all this over-sexualized stuff on TV, it's clearly of some concern. Like, it's affected
Yes.
us, even us as men. Like, it's
Yeah, but
really
can-
messing
you know
with
what?
us.
Can I say something though? It's impossible that drag like guys that dress obviously.
But the difference is it's out there for you to consume.
Hold on a
Now,
second.
whether you consume it or not, that's your responsibility. That's the main difference.
It's not
that
being
people are
injected
forgetting.
into a curriculum, though.
Exactly. You know what? This
But-
is being injected into a curriculum.
Look, I think-
the teacher's not. The teacher back in the days didn't fucking go up, bring the stroller TV in, and put a Pussycat music video. You know what I mean?
I was forced in high
I
school
wish,
to watch
I wish
Illegal
she
Cible,
did. I wish
where Monica
she did.
Bellucci gets raped.
Get out! They showed
Yeah,
that.
in high school, and my teacher got in a lot of trouble. What a great movie, though.
It's a very good movie.
Yeah. And
Especially
in that
the rape
instance, though, and he told us, he goes, I'll get in trouble for this, but we're going to watch it, and it's going to make you guys feel weird.
This is high school
Yeah,
or
last
film
year,
school.
Last year, high school. No, film school, we watched it, but it's film school. We're adults.
Yeah,
We're
no,
older, we're
exactly.
in college. And he's like,
But what was the point of showing you that movie?
the point was how something so disgusting can make a point that's positive. I mean, I understood the point, and I don't think that's why Noé made it. I think he did it to be edgy, and it's Monica Bellucci. No one wants to watch her get raped. I've never been able to watch the whole scene. It's really fucked up.
Well, it depends who you are.
Sure. No. Even you would look away. It's one of the most
no.
visceral scenes I've ever seen in a
Really?
movie.
That
Yeah,
bad?
and it's fucking Monica Bellucci. Like,
It is. She's gorgeous.
yeah. You ever seen her daughter? Not as attractive.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is it like that?
Yeah, Vincent Cancel's ugly. Fuck. That's why
He is a
he's
fucking-
fucking ugly. What was the point we were making? Yeah, look, drag is a sexualized art form. The same way pole dancing, no matter how you cut it, it's
How could it be?
sexualized.
But how could it be more sexual than a pole dancer? Because theoretically, when you're dressing in drag, it's all fake shit, right? So it can't be hypersexualized because
because all the fake shit that they're putting on is what's the word I'm looking for? Is an amalgam, not an amalgam. Fuck, I can't remember the word I want to use.
You know
Pissing me
what?
off. They're basically emulating a woman's body,
Yeah.
but they're exaggerating it,
okay.
right? And all the things that they exaggerate are the sexual organs.
I have never seen anyone dressed in
I am going
drag
to
that is
campaign-
remotely close to like nudity or whatever. You know what I mean? It's usually, huge gowns, the big feathers and the hair and the makeup.
I
How
am
about I
going
say
to
this
campaign. I want strippers in libraries reading to children from now on.
Everyone will read.
Everyone. I want strippers on all the libraries and all the schools reading to children. I want these strippers to be paid.
Look,
for
here's my takeaway from all this. I don't actually have any issue with a person who is identifies as trans or a drag queen, a subtle drag queen, to go and read to children without making a big deal about the fact. Like, if you're making a big deal out of it, then it's weird. But the shows, like the dancing and the twerk, that's fucked up. And it has happened. I have seen it. I'm sure there are very small instances and a very small percentage of the times it's happened. And then it's been blown up into this, like, this is what happens. They're trying to fuck our children. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what's happening. But at the same time, like, again, I have no real issue with it. I also just do not understand the necessity for it.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. The other thing that's fascinating me is that a topic like this, 10 years ago, maybe even less, would never become a topic at the National Assembly. Like, you would never have a parliament, come up with a motion on protecting drags and supporting them. Like, this type of subject would never make it to these instances, right?
Drag queens are one of the few exceptions to all the things that are happening that I feel like I would support more going out of our way to protect to some extent, because I still consider it an art form.
It is.
Right?
It is, yeah.
Whereas the other things, the other manifestations of queer identity or whatever you want to call it, those are something completely different. This is an art form. But like,
To me, there's no...
I just find it's like, if my kid came home and said a drag queen read us a story, I'd be like, what do you mean? How do you know what a drag queen is? And she'd tell me, and I'd be like, what do you think that is? It's a guy who likes to dress like a girl and he does shows. I'd be like, okay. I mean, it's not a big deal to me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, it's a dude who dresses in a dress and likes to do shows. Good for them. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with sexual preference, sexual orientation, sexuality. But if they're over-sexualized when they show up, same as the guy, the muscly guy with the elephant thong, that would be fucking weird.
That's disturbing.
That's how he makes a living, Dad. I'm gonna be a dancer. Fuck, no, you're not. Like,
Yeah.
it's weird. Like, our society now.
It was a cute little elephant.
He let me pet his trunk. Like.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
So like, I'm not as like about it, but at this like, then you have these like green-haired non-binary individuals who go and argue with children. Thank you. That was a little slow but close. Who go and argue with children about like, no, I'm not a man.
Yeah.
Like, way to confuse the kid. Like, when your kid is telling you that, I think I'm a girl at 3 years old, just be like, okay. Like, you don't need to encourage it. You don't need to discourage it. Just be, okay. Because my kid yesterday told me she was a lamp. You know what I mean? She's like, I'm a lamp now. I'm like, why are you a lamp? I make light. Okay. She identifies as a light. You're going to tell me? No, she's 3.
Not very bright, this kid.
No, not at all. The second one's a little, I'm a lamp now.
Oh, jeez. No, but just to go back, I still find it's strange. I mean, it's just an indication of the times we're living in that,
We have no
topics,
shame anymore.
Yeah,
That's
like
what it is.
topics
We
like this
no
have
shame.
become so populist that they get into the political realm, and you have politicians instead of taking care of serious things that matter.
Can I give you my opinion on why this has happened?
Yeah.
It's because there's a series of huge problems that we're facing as a society globally that are unsolvable right now. Energy crisis,
Health.
trade relations, health.
Yeah, but
That they just want us arguing about something insignificant and stupid. All of it is just a smoke show.
I just think ever since social media took such a huge presence in everyone's life, and obviously it spilled over into politics. And politicians.
Social media is politics.
Well, yeah. I mean,
100%.
when I started this thing, these things didn't exist, right? And then
Yeah.
I remember in the very beginning, back in the day, we were one of the first ones to actually get into Twitter and Facebook. And I remember the other colleagues were like, "What the fuck are you doing in these things, man?"
Are you sure you want me to tweet this? Yeah. Are you sure? Because it can be misinterpreted. It's fine. Just do it, George, if you want a job. If she's old enough to pee. Oh, it's too many characters.
Let's rework this. So yeah, so we were among the first ones, and then in just a small amount of years, everyone was on it. It takes such a huge presence, and the politicians now are in the palm of everyone's hands, right? What the fuck are they doing? What are they saying? And it's become more of what's popular for me to do, rather than what is my job here as a politician. Is this significant enough?
How can I be more likable and affable?
Exactly.
Because people, how can I show that I support everyone's stupid causes?
But by the way, you guys saw Justin Trudeau start a YouTube page.
I did. I also saw Legault start a Twitch page.
No, that was an April Fool's.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was such a good.
I believe that. I'm like,
fuck.
what a fucking idiot.
Because he started a podcast, Legault.
I mean, that I'm okay with.
So yeah, it's fine. No, but I think these are
Direct access to the thoughts of politicians.
Absolutely,
is always
man.
a good
Yeah,
idea.
very good. And I'm
'Cause
surprised.
the more they say, the more stupid shit they say.
you can go back and find things.
Yeah.
So no, but I'm still wondering why more politicians aren't using these tools to reach out to the public.
Well, what's he gonna do on his YouTube page?
Yeah, different.
He
stupid-
starts doing vlogs. He's like,
Yeah.
guys, Shane just sent me this leather latex.
All right, it's mail time.
It's mail time.
Thanks for sending me mail with his little pocket
And
knife.
he's pulling out like weird sex toys because no one's vetting it. They're just sending him shit.
Oh my god.
He dresses up. He starts cosplaying. Today I'm V for Vendetta. It's me, Justin. I'm just joking.
Oh my god.
Oh, fucking Justin.
Last night
I
I wa-
will miss him when he's not prime minister anymore. For just for
I don't know
the
if-
amusement,
Fuck.
because he's dumb as shit. I want to say that he's playing dumb, but he's actually so intelligent and he's tricked everyone. But I think that's not the case. I think they just found a dumb guy to appeal to dumb people.
Look, I don't think he's dumb. I know him. He's a smart guy. It's just that he came into politics with this wave of obviously popularity and because of who he is
Nepotism.
and all that stuff. Yeah. Nepotism for sure. And, you know, he was one of the quote unquote pioneers of politicians on social media. Like he started kind of that wave as well with
And
Obama
also
back in the day.
Like in terms of like, since we're talking about drag queens, like him, he pioneered that too. He's always dressing up and stuff.
yeah,
He
exactly.
loves to appropriate all kinds of things.
So I just think that he's so dipped in populism that
You know what else he's dipped into?
I think it kind of takes his mind away from
he's completely detached from the reality of
Yeah,
the
exactly.
people he's governing over.
Yeah.
100%.
because he could have been. I mean, look, you're in politics. Obviously, not everyone's going to like you. You're going to have adversaries, and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
normal. But
Look at Pierre.
but he could have been a respectable politician.
No, I don't
that
think he ever
people
stood a
were
chance.
against, right? Which is
He
normal.
never stood a chance of being a respectable politician.
fact-
you know
well, why?
Because he never had any true life experience. He never served anyone.
Yeah, but that's not only him. There's a lot of politicians there
And
that
they're
probably
garbage
have.
also.
You know what I mean? It's just that they're not exposed. They're not,
And it's one
front
thing
and
to
center.
be a career politician like Leighton.
Mm-hmm.
Leighton lived a life of service, right?
Yeah,
I mean, even Pantelis would have voted for him, and he's like hates the NDP, right?
yeah.
So, like, there's a politician who you kind of understand what they're doing, but then you have a similar trajectory, which is Joe Biden, who's clearly just a psycho. Like, he just wants to be liked. He doesn't want to serve. He wants to be loved.
Who?
Joe, Sleepy Joe,
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see him and Pierre Poilievre exchange words?
Who?
I had a good laugh. Joe.
Oh yeah. Where he said, "Hi,
I'm,
Mr. President."
First of all, it's the first time since she died, I heard someone say, "For His Majesty's
Yeah, yeah.
opposition." I was like, "Who the? Oh yeah."
Yeah,
I was like, "What are you
it's
talking about?
strange,
We
right?
have a king now."
But it's so funny. It goes his loyal opposition. Interesting, because that's what it's called. The official
Yeah.
word is His Royal Majesty's.
His Majesty's loyal opposition.
Loyal opposition.
Isn't it royal opposition?
Loyal
Oh,
opposition.
loyal opposition, right? And he's like, we have that too. Ha. My name's Joe. I was like, what the fuck? Even Poilievre's face is amazing. He's like, oh god. It's like when when you're a kid and the really old uncle comes over and you gotta talk to them, and you're like, hi uncle, whatever, and he's like, you're looking big now. And he's just touching your face.
Yeah, he's pinching your cheeks.
What was it?
Trumpets.
Trumpets. Why? Oh, the loyal opposition.
Yeah.
Everything's 28 seconds too late, so it's weird.
Yeah.
Because I have to search it up, damn it.
Tap
Why
a
don't you
fasta,
why don't
please.
you like see now? Just bank that, save it somewhere, and then there you have
No,
it.
because there's so many for different situations. I don't have the space.
You get a little keyboard. You have them all on it. Anyway,
I have a fart whoopee cushion in the car. We'll bring it in. We'll just use that.
so back to Justin. I mean, for me, it's
No, back
just
to what we were actually talking about. No?
what we're talking about.
Justin?
The
don't remember.
YouTube page.
The YouTube page, yeah.
I just find it funny that now, as they're trying to finalize Bill C-11,
He starts a YouTube page.
suddenly Justin Trudeau has a YouTube page.
That actually makes a lot of sense for them to do it right now.
Yeah, I guess.
Because now everyone is governed by this new law.
So now
Wait,
basically,
no, listen.
yeah.
Everyone is controlled by... Okay, so this is amazing. Everything we say on YouTube is controlled by the federal government, but the federal government also has a YouTube page where they can say whatever the fuck they want. Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
And they can also pay ads and target and do all that fun stuff that...
But you know
they're
what?
using
Good for
against
you.
them.
You
So did
do whatever you
C11
want.
go through finally, or what's happening?
It
with
was
the Senate,
voted.
right?
It was voted. Now it's going to go to the Senate for a final vote. But since it passed the first time around, there's no indication that it'll get dropped in the Senate. I mean, so it's
Spoken to Leo.
no.
No?
Man,
but-
we're fucked.
Have you had him on the show? I mean, like...
I had him during the elections.
Did you mention C11? Did you guys talk about
No,
it?
we didn't, it wasn't an issue then. But
Because he's still like very vocal about it.
he's the
online.
one. Yeah, he's the one that is
He's the
pushing
one
this.
fighting it.
But yeah, no, I mean, if it passed Senate,
Approval?
yeah, and then it went to the House and got voted, chances are that now it went back to the Senate for final.
I have to go to the washroom.
Final kind of approval there.
Mm-hmm. Should have gone to pee before the show.
Yeah, you guys made fun of me.
No, you didn't. We said go pee.
Yeah,
And you did.
Fucking George.
You're so sensitive.
right there.
Creating
So
animosity.
yeah, so
Olga
chances.
just noticed that we're dressed the same.
We said the exact same thing
Yeah,
before we
I
went
told
live.
him one of us has to take off the hat, but neither of us wanted to.
Yeah.
This is not Father Greek uniform. This is YouTube black. That's what I call it.
This is just because I have no wardrobe and I don't want to wear my
And for the
button-down
record-
shirts anymore.
For the record, I'm wearing black pants. He's wearing blue pants. Okay, so it's not exactly the
White shoes. What are you wearing?
same. High tops.
Oh, white. Okay.
Hwats. I like to wear my hwats on my feet.
Let's go to we got to talk about what happened in the U.S. Right? The fact that a former president has been charged.
I don't understand what's happening with the Trump thing because, as far as I know, I can think off the top of my head of at least 10 other politicians who fucked someone and hush moneyed them, and everyone knows, and they were fined.
Yeah.
Like, it's not illegal to hush money someone.
This is
It's unethical.
look. So Trump's argument is that he's just part of this huge witch hunt, right? I see where he's coming from, and this is where the justice system is different in the U.S. and in Canada. Over here, something happens to you, the police they assemble, they prepare a file, they give it to the prosecutor's office, to the DPCP, and they decide if the evidence they have is sufficient to charge you
yeah.
or not to charge you. That office, is objective. It doesn't belong to anyone.
And in the
It's an
States?
institution. Well, in the States, it's the Attorney General,
Right.
or whatever, of New York.
Who's elected.
He gets elected, and he's a Democrat. So it's weird to have someone that clearly gets elected under a partisan banner charge. In this case, Donald Trump. It's like, okay, I get it. There's evidence that you have, and it wasn't really the
what's the crime?
Attorney General. There was a grand jury that looked into it.
What are
but
the charges?
Still, there's a lot. It's 34. It's 34 charges.
But
So
he's
we're
already
talking
been
about
indicted once, right?
no. When?
2 years ago.
No.
3. When?
There was what do you call it? There was the he got impeached twice.
Oh, impeached, yeah.
But it technically he got impeached, but it wasn't voted.
Yeah.
I think in the
didn't
Senate
stick.
because he had the majority. So this time around, 34 charges. So we're talking about falsifying documents, electoral fraud, taking the whole thing about Stormy Daniels.
Fraud.
Well, because he used election funds to pay,
Allegedly.
Yeah, well, yeah, allegedly, yeah. So electoral fraud is serious, man. I mean, I remember when we were having elections, the nucleus of the team, like not the volunteers making calls and all that stuff, but the people that were in charge of, buying ads or receiving, donations and all that stuff. They had a whole day briefing on how the electoral law
Yeah,
works
no,
and
I'm
what you
aware.
can and cannot do because it's serious. It's a serious crime. It's a
It subverts our democracy,
yeah.
which is what we do anyways. But go
So
on.
I just find it funny that it was him paying paying for the silence of a fucking porn star that lifted this whole thing up. You know.
It's such a weird. Because to be honest,
But it wasn't only
I don't
her- yeah.
think anything will stick.
Well, now technically, from what I'm reading, the case is going to start in January of next year. So he has.
I'm pretty sure this is all just smoke and mirrors right now because of what's happening with Saudi Arabia, China, and Russia. Like,
I don't think so.
Saudi Arabia and Iran have brokered peace for the first time
Yeah.
ever.
And it
Ever.
was brokered by China.
It was brokered by China.
Yeah.
And now, I don't know if it's official yet, but I was reading about it last night. They're talking about oil sales, the transaction of oil, to be in yen and not in the US dollar.
That's nice, fantastic.
That is the end of the United States
Mm.
because now they can't sanction anyone. Because now you're pissed off at someone, you sanction them. Our dollar's the global currency. Fuck you. Now what? What happens when it's China? Then we get sanctioned. It's a big deal. Like it's actually has much deeper ramifications, long lasting
Yeah.
than anything happening in the U.S. right now, and not a single new like no one's talking about it.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you can find it online if you look
Yeah.
for it.
Well,
And also,
the-
don't forget that China has just like changed their threat level and they're militarizing parts of their borders.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit going on,
The-
and no one's aware of it in the U.S.
Yeah, we're getting different news over here than the serious things that are happening around the world. There's clearly an alliance being formed between China and Russia. We knew that
Which
from
was
the very
bound to
beginning. We knew that from the very beginning, and it was officialized last week when the Chinese president met Putin.
Yeah.
And then soon after that, I think a week later or a couple of days later, there was the deal that was brokered between Saudi Arabia and Iran. We don't know if that's going to go through. They gave themselves a 2-month window to reestablish diplomatic ties. So it's at a very early
I'm surprised
stage.
they agreed to anything. They must have been promised something from China and Russia.
I mean, I think there's way
We're
more.
watching a new world sphere of power form.
Yeah.
Like in real time, it's happening.
There's way more behind that than just those two countries that have forever been, against each other, re-engaging in diplomatic ties. I think the entire region, there's a lot of shit happening right there that requires the cooperation of all these countries. Obviously, oil is part of it.
Oil and natural gas.
The trade routes. There's a lot of stuff happening in
Yeah.
there that requires everyone to kind of work together, and that's where China has demonstrated a certain leadership, perhaps that the U.S. hasn't been able to get in on, and that's worrying to me.
Very worrying. And then you have us instigating, like talking shit. Just Justin walking out saying "fuck you, China" every so often.
Yeah, he doesn't even do that. He still. You know what? You know what's fascinating to me? How last week and the week before, maybe 3 weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, all that we were talking about here in Canada was the Chinese interference.
Yeah.
And then suddenly that died.
We got the balloon. It's over.
No. We're talking about that
there
MP
was
there.
supposed
Yeah.
to be, but nothing happened.
Well,
I mean, you know what? In retrospect, maybe I take my hat off to Justin. Maybe he saved us all. Because now that China's in charge, if we're their bitch, that's good. Like all these years we've been the US's bitch, right? He clearly looked ahead and he's like, guys, look, China's taking over. The US, they got this retarded old
let's
guy.
pick our
Let's
camp.
pick our side. No one's going to be happy about it, but in the end, at least we won't be starving.
You know what, man?
They won't bomb
As
us.
weird as this may sound,
He might be right.
to some people, I much more prefer being dominated by the U.S.
That's only because it's the dick you know.
No. It's
Don't be
because
racist.
at
Try
least
something new.
it's a democracy, or somewhat of a democracy.
I mean, look, I'd rather be dominated by the Americans also because they are democracy and they're not going to fucking... I mean, it's China. Like, we know what happens in China.
Yeah, like the U.S. is never gonna go sign a deal with fucking authoritarian regimes. You know what I mean? Even though they did.
They have.
Yeah.
I mean, your parents came here because they did. Literally, the military junta. That's why they immigrated, right? That's when they came?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a dumb thing to say, but at least they don't go as the U.S. They send in the agency.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Unofficial.
Unofficially, it doesn't exist. It's just some guys.
So Trump, it's huge what's happening to Trump because obviously it's the first time this happens in the U.S. where a former president gets
That
charged.
trial. I'd like you to continue this with Poseidon because I want to get his input on this too. Like, what does he think about the hush money? Because I got to pee.
Yeah. So we're talking about Trump being charged. 34 charges, and all this came to the surface because of that payment that he made to Stormy Daniels, which blew the lid off everything. And it's a serious thing. The fact that you have a president now getting charged, is it real? Is it obviously it's serious. I mean, in order for him to have been charged, there's sufficient evidence for them to move forward with this. But at the same time, I get his point. Where
Well, it's the Democrats, so we don't know if there's.
that's what we're talking with Phil. I mean, the biggest difference between the U.S. and Canada is that here you get charged by the prosecution, the prosecutor's office, which is an independent entity. It falls under the justice bracket, and in the U.S. you get charged by a district attorney or an attorney general, or whatever the fuck they are, that gets elected under a political banner. So in New York now, the guy that's charging him is a Democrat. And it's just weird.
What are the 34 charges?
I don't know what the 34 charges are, but...
Because I don't know much
look,
about
a lot
it.
of
I
that
don't
has to
know
do with
the
election
details.
fraud. Falsifying documents. There's a lot of things.
It's funny that it was the Democrats that
Yeah, but this isn't new, right? I mean, we knew that they were looking into this. It's been years now that they've been working this case, right? And it's weird because the things that are coming out, like he paid people to silence them right before his campaign. Apparently, there was the doorman of his hotel that knew that he had a child, like a secret child with someone else. I don't know what. And he paid him money to keep him quiet. And what else is there? There's a bunch of things. He paid off a bunch of people just to keep him quiet.
If he was gonna spend all this money to fuck a porn star, why choose Stormy Daniels? Like, why choose an old porn star?
Maybe that's what he's into, man. I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe.
But she wasn't old at the time.
Oh, it was before. Yeah, it wasn't recent. That's right. Yeah.
No, he just paid them off to keep them quiet during the campaign. But before you walked in, there's another thing that came out now that he paid the doorman of his building. I think it was how much was it? 30,000 or maybe
Okay, he
more.
paid him some cash.
Yeah,
For what?
because allegedly he has information that Donald Trump has a child with someone that we don't know. Like there's another child.
There's
of
another
his-
Trump out there.
There's another child.
Was
of
a
his,
Trump bastard?
Yeah.
King of the North.
Yeah. So he's buying that guy's silence as well. I don't know. I'm just curious to know because I
Well,
remember
I'm
at
having a
some
hard
point they
time-
were looking at this fraudulent activity that he would do before he was president, while he was, the Trump organization.
Yeah, Trumpy.
Yeah, like falsifying documents in
Oh,
order to
there was more
get.
there. Sorry, can you just stop? I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So I'm just curious because I haven't read all the 34 charges
No,
there,
neither have
but.
I've been very passively following this because I refuse to allow myself to get into it because I know it's bullshit. I know none of it will stick. I know it'll all go away, and then it'll start more division in the U.S. where the Republicans and Democrats are fighting.
I mean, if it doesn't stick, then there's a serious problem with the justice system, no?
because it didn't stick or because it's unfounded.
Both.
Maybe
Like, how can you charge a guy on?
they're just making a spectacle of him. That's it.
Yeah, but that's a problem
But people are so happy
because you can't
Have
can't
not
fucking
seen the
charge
tweets?
anyone on nothing on thin air. Like, you need to have
Maybe
sufficient
20
evidence
years
that
ago. But now you just do this so people can enjoy him, and then no matter what happens, he's guilty.
there's a fucking problem. I'm not saying our system is perfect either, but I would much more prefer having what we have now and to know that it has nothing to do with politics. It's a separate entity. They look at facts. They look
Except
at
for the politicians to actually be indicted or to be charged. Normally, the politicians are like, we'll do a public inquiry. And then when they do the public inquiry, before we get to that level, so we can get the evidence we need, what happens? They get their mom's best friend from another scandal, and they're like, you're in charge of this now. Right? Look at what's happening with the China. We just spoke about it. So, yeah, our system's better? No. Our system has a safeguard that they've manipulated. It's amazing. Look, if I wasn't so upset about getting literally and figuratively raped in my ass by the government every day, I would be really impressed. If they could govern the country half as well as they fuck me, we'd live in a great place. Am I wrong?
yeah.
I am?
No, you're not wrong.
No, I
I was
think so.
saying,
I'm
yeah,
rarely
you're
wrong.
right. Rarely
What they're
wrong.
trying to say basically is that he basically used taxpayer dollars to pay her off.
Not tax. Well, no. It's not taxpayer
Hang on a
dollars.
second.
This
Hang on.
is
Sorry,
it's
George.
from his
Very
election
important.
fund.
You left the show to go smoke? You got up from the show to go have a cigarette? Tell me you're joking.
I'm joking.
I don't believe you.
I'm joking.
Oh man, I hope Pantelis watching this right now. You're so fucked. I don't have the authority to fire you because I don't pay you. If it was me, I'd fire you on the spot.
I'm always looking.
Tell the truth. Tell them. You
Okay.
actually went to the bathroom and you shat all over the wall.
No. I went.
There was shit everywhere, guys. The floor is wet. The toilet's overflowing. Disgusting, the bathroom. Disgusting. I had to like hop around to get out to go to the other
He
bathroom.
had to go fast. He had to go fast. He had to come back.
He was gone for 15 minutes.
Let me just shit all over the place.
The bathroom's 10 meters from the door.
Olga says, "Smell me."
No, I can't from here. You ever walked into? We all live around the same area, right? I know some of the viewers don't live near Montreal, but if you want to go to the States, like let's say New York City, from around this part of Quebec, you have to drive through the Adirondacks, right?
Okay, yeah.
Have you ever stopped? You know, at the top of the Adirondacks, there's these like way stations where you can go to the bathroom, whatever they're called. Have you ever been there in the summer when it's like super fucking humid and it just reeks of human excrement?
No.
That's what it smelled like right here.
I don't smell anything. So.
I know, me neither. But the bathroom was disgusting. I don't know
Yeah,
how you did
that
that,
bad?
man. Something wrong with you.
You need a shovel.
Shovel to hit you in the head with and bury your fucking body.
So there's a huge thing happening now in Quebec City. Well, in Quebec in general. Last week, the minister, and I want to talk about that because we're talking
Which minister?
right before we started. We're talking about family doctors and how bad the situation is.
Garbage. Yeah.
And there's a new bill that has been tabled to what the fuck are you doing, bro? No, get your ass out of the way, man.
bro,
What the
that's-
fuck's wrong with this guy?
That's weird. That was fucking weird.
Fucking
Which
guy.
camera were you on for that?
He put the middle camera for sure. I saw him moving shit.
You did that? This is not In Bed with Poseidon. It's the morning show.
So yeah, so there's a new bill to reform the health system.
You know how many women you just turned into lesbians? Just like lost
yeah,
their taste for dick forever.
So there's a new bill to reform the health system, which I think is probably necessary at this point. Obviously, there's a lot of people.
bill will fix it.
No, but apparently he's going hard on them. But I don't know if it's going to work. I mean, the previous government also tried to reform it. They made certain moves, but nothing really changed. Mind you, there was a whole pandemic that happened in between that kind of made people realize how badly this
I think we all knew.
this network
It's
has
just
been
they couldn't really lie
administered.
about it anymore.
But the biggest problem in this bill is, the health minister, Minister Dubé, wants to apply pressure to the médecins spécialistes. So all those specialist doctors.
The ones that we really, really need, and now he's like gonna twist their arm a bit.
Because the idea is to make them take on more, because they pretty much for the longest time have been controlling the agenda. This is how much we want, and this is how much we can take, and And there's an article that comes out now. There are 830,000 people on a list waiting to see
What's the population of the province?
8 million.
So is that 10% or 1%?
Yeah, it's about 1%.
You said 83 million? How many?
8 million.
No, how many people on the list?
830,000.
For
830.
what? For what? Sorry.
Family doctor.
Like
And that's not
800
even taking into account how many people aren't even on the list and don't have a doctor.
Yeah.
Like, just that percentage.
So these are
right?
people that are either waiting for like a hip replacement surgery, knee replacement, like
Oh, I thought you meant the médecin familial list.
No. This is a
Oh,
médecin
okay.
spécialiste.
Sorry, my bad.
These are
That's even more concerning then.
neurologists or people that have a specialization that something serious has happened to you. You need a surgery, or this is the.
You know what's crazy? Knock on wood. Like I've needed a specialist a handful of times in my life, and never for anything dire, obviously. But I've always gotten the appointment relative. Like I just got a referral for ENT, like ear, nose, and throat for my sinuses, and I got the appointment within like the whole process was super simple.
Right.
I got the ENT appointment. I think it's in like a week, and I booked it 3 weeks ago.
So
like
then-
it's pretty fast.
So then, why is this happening? Then, because I haven't had a bad experience either, to be honest with you. But then again,
But I have a family doctor. Maybe these people don't.
yeah.
So they're going through the clinic referral into the system.
Speaking of family dogs, this is what we were talking about with Phil before we went on, because we were very lucky from the very beginning. Like since we were kids, we were lucky we had a family
I had
doctor.
a family doctor since I was 18.
He was like literally a couple blocks away from the house.
Yeah, same.
We should have expected this to happen at some point. The guy's retiring. And not only is he retiring, but he
didn't
said, you know what?
retire.
I'm retiring from my practice, but I'm going to convert into a private practice. So if you want to see
He's
me,
my wife's doctor too. Yeah.
yeah, you're going to come and pay me $250 and I'll keep your file.
I remember when I first got a family doctor, like the first couple months, I had another guy, and my dad's like, "Nah, we're gonna switch you. This guy's too old. You're gonna be looking for a family doctor
Yeah.
when you're in your 50s."
Right.
I'm like, what about you? He goes, I'll be dead. So I'm like, no, change with me. At least like your doctor can outlive you at that point. It's useful. He's like, all right. So we've had the same doctor like.
So this is what's happening now. It's a reality. So my mom calls me the other day. And she's like, because my dad has a throat, so he wanted to see a doctor, and he didn't want to go spend $250 to, yelling. This fucking guy abandoned us. I'm like, bah.
And your dad's such a lefty too. He must be.
No,
so
he's not
angry.
a lefty at all. My
He's a bit of a
dad,
lefty.
but he's like, I can't believe he did this to us. I'm like, dude, he had to retire at some point. He just thought, you know what? For the last maybe 5 years of,
Let me buy a few buildings.
Let me just go private. Who cares? Fuck, it's his right. What are you complaining for? Anyway, but the problem now is that my mom's like, okay, we got to get him a new family doctor. And I helped him because clearly they're not able to do it because you have to go online and you have to fucking register and it's so fucking painful. And I thought, you know what?
All the click sites are the worst.
Yeah, no, but and I thought, you know what? At least my parents have us that can help them. Imagine the people that are at a certain age that don't have internet, have never used a fucking computer in their life. Because guess what? We still have a lot of those people still living in Quebec, and that don't have
Not for long.
and they don't have kids or family members that can help them out. What the hell do? They have to fucking call. Someone has to do it for them online, over the phone. It's such a painful fucking process. Finally, I did it for them. They're on a list. They're waiting for someone to call them so they can evaluate them on the phone and then see where they can send them and where there's availability to go into like one of those walk-in clinics or a GMF or a super clinic.
They're not called GMF anymore. They're called something else now.
Whatever they're called.
Keep changing the whatever.
And it's such a...
It's a mess.
It's a mess.
I'm looking for my wife too to find a family doctor. I mean,
You have to go through the same thing. You have to register online and all that shit.
because the doctor who retired, he hung onto her files, so she's still registered with him. So I can't even it's a whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
There's that. I mean, then
Because I'm wondering,
I
should I
have an
go...
idea for people who their doctors retired.
yeah,
Why aren't their files transferred
automatically to someone new.
to someone
Like,
new?
why should you have to go on a list again? You already had
so
a
like
doctor.
that they're grandfathered.
Yeah.
Because now you got to go to the back of the line.
Well, because look, they have the exact same problem. Who are they going to send it to?
There's that. Not enough doctors.
Who are they going to send it to?
Like my family doctor, because I had a conversation with him the last time I saw him. Like again, I've known him for years. Like we're friends. He's like, yeah, I go, are you taking new patients? Because like I need to get my wife in somewhere. I go, and she needs a family doctor. Like we can't function like this. He's like, I can't. I go, come on, don't be a fucking bitch. That's what I told him. He's like, I have 6 times the amount of patients I should have because I keep being a bitch and accepting more patients. He goes, I can't serve.
Shut up, fuck. You've been taking them because you get paid every time they fucking
course he
swipe a
does.
card, man.
Of course he does.
Come on. Yeah.
And he also owns the clinic. Like he's doing really well.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I don't even need you to see her. She's not me. She's not a lot of maintenance. She won't be in here fucking every 2 months
She's
with
not
something.
sick every
I
2
have
days.
a thing here. I have is that a tumor? It's a tumor.
No,
Like,
but
like today, by the way, today I have to go see him because I have to go get the strep test, right?
Yeah.
Because my daughter has strep throat, so like we all have to get strep tests. And I know because I saw him for my annual. He's gonna be like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Again.
Look. I just wanted a strep test. They told me I had to see you because I'm like, guys, I don't want to see him. He's gonna bust my balls. He's gonna say something's wrong. Like, just leave him a note. Leave him a note. He'll give me the fucking referral. I'll do it. I'm like embarrassed to go see him now.
Oh no, strep throat! What are you doing?
He's gonna be like, "Oh, you got a little strep throat, bitch." I'm like, "Ah, fuck."
no,
You
but
didn't
they
get it, huh?
No, but
No.
they.
Why?
Strep, stepsister. Oh no,
Oh,
stepsister.
shit.
What are
Yeah,
you
you
doing?
went far for that
Oh
one.
no, strep throat.
Bro, are you still trying to do open mics? Stop. Stop.
No, keep going, bro. Come
was
on.
a bit of a
You're
reach.
gonna
It
get
was a
better.
bit
Keep
of a reach.
practicing.
I was
Keep practicing.
weak.
It was a bit of a reach.
I'll encourage you.
Also,
don't worry.
that fucking implies that you assume that we all watch the same pseudo-incestuous porno you do.
Well, everyone knows
knows what?
Knows
That's
what?
what you do?
about the step porn.
The step porn?
Yeah,
What do they know about it?
everyone knows it exists. It's become a meme. Like, well, not a meme, but it's become.
You realize that the only reason I've never seen these memes, for the record. I'm kind of aware because you bring it up all the time, which is odd. But the only reason you see those is because when you're in incognito, it still knows what you're looking at and it's giving you those
it doesn't.
memes.
No, it doesn't.
Look it up. Incognito is not what you think it is. His world is crumbling right now. It's true. I'm not even joking. This is completely serious. Incognito mode, it doesn't save in your history,
Okay, do
but
you know-
Google still
okay,
registers
do you
all of
know-
it.
do you know
you ever
what-
notice when you go back on the porn site, it kind of shows you similar stuff to the stuff you jerked off to last time?
Okay, do you know what the issue is? Why I keep getting those? Then is because sometimes I like the porn star that's in those, and what I'll click on them and then click on the porn star name right away. I'll scroll down. You scroll down and you see the porn stars that were in the
Memes don't
video.
have the porn star's name in
Like,
them.
how
do they?
much time do you
What?
spend on porn sites?
That you recognize them and know their names.
What? I don't recognize and know their name.
You just said I follow porn stars.
No, I'll see the video. I'm like, but I always find it kind
You're
of.
still living with that sweet little girl.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, maybe that's what they're into, man.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I didn't think of that, actually.
But look, listen,
true.
because
My
I'll
bad.
see a porn video. And I'm like, yo, this porn star, she looks kind of hot. I go, what's her name?
Let me do a deep dive into her
I
fucking
wanna
LinkedIn.
No, I want to see other videos that she has, but I don't want to masturbate to step stuff because it's kind of weird. So I click on her name in the porn description, in the porn video description, and then I go to her. So maybe from that.
Okay. Back to the doctors.
And just to answer the chat, obviously that was the natural progression of that conversation from healthcare to porn stars. I'm excited. Yes, for sure.
Totally natural.
And I know, Olga, that you can get strep throat tests at the pharmacy. I need to do a culture, not a rapid test. I don't trust them. They don't work. My daughters came back negative. Listen to this bullshit about healthcare. I had to go pay $75 to get a strep test for her. I told you what happened last week. Like, she was in the hospital. She was very sick.
With a strep dick.
Fucking
I should have been full. Super sick. I take her to the doctor on Thursday. I took her to the doctor multiple times. She had hives all over her whole body. Couldn't open her eyes. She looked Inuit.
Yeah.
So Atwater Inuit. So we go to the hospital. We do all the stuff. She's like, you know exactly what I'm. Swollen a bit. From the. So kid's crying. She has 41.8 fever. Shit. Yeah. So we go to the doctor. He goes, let's just finally do the strep test. We'll do it. But you have to go private because I don't do it here. I'm like, fine. So he sends me to this place in Westmount. I'm like, Westmount, I'm going to pay, but it'll get done.
Yeah.
So I pay $75. Rapid comes back instantly, negative. 2 days go by. I don't get the call. She gets better. I'm like, oh, okay. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, yesterday, I go home for lunch. I'm chilling. The doctor calls. He goes, hey, I'm calling to see how the little one is. I was like, that's nice of you. He's like, what? I go, what do you mean? She's better. Okay. Awkward silence. He goes, did you treat her? I go, treat her for what? He goes, strep throat. I go, no, I never got a positive result. He goes, oh, no, she has strep throat. You need to go get the medication right now. So I paid money and I checked my spam. I understand that the public system is broken, but if I'm paying, I expect you to fucking not only serve me, but say thank you.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you.
Yeah. No, it's pretty bad. But to go back to what Poseidon was saying about family doctors, you know what? In cases where
okay, that's what you wanted to go back to.
In the case where there's a family doctor retiring, the government should just find one, like a newcomer or someone that wants to, and just put him there. Say, look, this guy's retiring. Go there. Why is it so difficult? Like, I mean, is there that much of a lack of family?
When a resident becomes a GP. First of all, not that many doctors become general medicine doctors, right?
I have an idea.
Wait, hold on. Let him finish his point.
I'm sorry.
When they come in, they're not allowed to have the same amount of patients as someone who's been a doctor for 20 years, I think. Right. It used to be that way. There's like an amount that they can handle initially. And I'm not sure. Like, the solution is to let residents do most of these follow-ups and appointments while a doctor, like a tenured doctor, whatever they're called, oversees them, which is what the CLSCs do.
Yeah.
Or did. I don't know what they do now. But it's still not enough. Like, I remember at the CLSC, I was working with one of the doctors. She was Greek, actually. So, like, we got to know each other a bit. She had, like, she would only do obstetric follow-ups. Like, she was for pregnant women. That was her thing. She was a GP. She also had her own patients, but this was her specialty. 40 appointments a day.
Jesus.
Like, how can you see that many people in a day? And she's following all these pregnancies. Like, that's too much. It's just too much.
Yeah.
I have an idea to solve the doctor crisis in Quebec.
Here we go.
Okay. All the people we took in from foreign countries that studied to be doctors in those countries, but we don't recognize their license.
Like 14 people.
No. There's quite a few. There's a lot. We give them a deal. We tell them, okay, trade in your medallion.
No one's going to laugh at that. Continue.
In the taxis. No, it's not. I'm not trying to make a joke.
No one has medallions anymore. They're all Uber drivers. Go on.
No. There's still a lot of taxi drivers. Trade in your medallions in the taxi business, and then we'll give you a bonus as a doctor, but you got to work as a doctor in the public sector for like 10 years. And we give them their license.
So now we have a bunch of people who haven't practiced medicine in a bunch of years because they've been driving taxis, who were put through a school system that we have no idea what they were taught. I'm not saying it's bad. Some of them may be better than here. Most of them probably
Maybe
are.
they do a bit of a refreshment course.
Yeah, they might. There needs to be, which
For
means
like
we
a
need to
year.
spend money on that.
For like, yeah, that's fine.
But they do
That's
that
fine.
anyway.
We don't have any
They'll
money.
make money
but
on the
they do-
back end with
no,
the
no, but they-
medallions.
but they do
They'll
that-
make it back with the medallions,
No,
the
no,
taxi
we
medallions.
have to spend money. The taxpayer,
Yeah, but
even the
they'll-
medallion taxpayers.
No,
money.
but they do that. It's just
They
that
do that, yeah.
Because if someone is a doctor that comes from the Middle East, for example, obviously they need to get the equivalency done, and it's that process that takes super long, and they just give up in the end, right?
Yeah.
So I think that has to be looked into, right? Like, I mean, how can we make the process faster, but also at the same time make sure that they don't fuck up because whatever they were doing in their country isn't either recognized over here
Yeah.
or there's different medication or
There's a lot
whatever
of
it is, right?
ethical
Yeah.
issues too. Like,
So, but that definitely is something that needs to change. But it's not only for healthcare. It's not only in the healthcare department. That's the case for engineers. It's the case for any professionals that come here.
except for podcasters,
Yeah, they're allowed to do whatever
do
they
whatever
want.
they want. They don't have a lot of formal training, as you can.
Which also begs the question on, what exactly happens during that process of immigration, right? Because, and especially in Quebec, where Quebec has a huge chunk of that immigration file where they select their candidates, right? They're very picky. How do you, how does that work? Why are you selecting someone to come here and to tell them, look, we're giving you the green light. If Ottawa approves your application, you're good to go, where you can come in here. But why would you do that if you don't have any jobs to offer?
Yeah, like we don't need more shawarma restaurants. We have tons.
Yeah, but the
Like,
thing
we need
is,
doctors.
because it's not like it was back in the 50s, 60s when our parents came here, where all they needed was a sponsor, right? My aunt sponsored my dad. Okay, good. You have someone here. Good, come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't work that anymore. You need to come here as a qualified worker. So if you immigrate here, number one criteria is obviously the language. But if you're taking people from North Africa, where they speak French probably better than we are, better than we do, then automatically that they pass. But a lot of these,
you mean?
but a lot of these people, they spend years becoming, engineers, doctors, whatever the hell it is, dentists. You're bringing them here because of those qualifications, because they are qualified
I
workers.
think most of the people applying to come here probably aren't that qualified, though. Still,
I don't think so, man, because if you're a doctor in your
Unless-
country, that's a pretty qualified
if you're a
position.
doctor in your country and you have a qualified position, you're probably staying in your country unless you're being
Maybe
persecuted.
not. Maybe not. You don't know what the reality is. And the guy wants to immigrate. It doesn't matter. The problem is that
He's probably making a killing in his country as a doctor. The only place he'd probably go is the U.S. Think about it.
I think that's where they end up.
Financially.
But that's
That
where
is
they probably end up.
Yeah, of course. But wait till China destroys the U.S. and then they send us all the good Chinese doctors. It'll be great, man. It's gonna be good. It's good. Okay, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, guys. We just, we already wear red. That's fine. We'll add like a little star inside the maple leaf. We'll build a wall on the U.S. border. We'll call it the Great Wall of Canada.
And that's going to be even bigger wall than China.
Yeah,
Eh?
yeah, big wall. But the Chinese are gonna build it, so it'll be fine. It'll be
Is
safe.
it still the longest border between two countries? I think so, no?
I think
The
it
U.S.
is,
and
yeah.
Canada? Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it is. Yeah. What
Coast
about
to
China and
coast,
Mongolia? It's
baby.
massive, the actual border, bigger than the Great Wall.
Well, Canada's a much bigger country than
Yeah, but it
China.
does like through the central Anatolian, not Anatolian.
I'm
plateau,
sure
like
there's
the Mongolian
much
plateau.
larger borders, but I think with one country,
Just
it's
look it up.
Canada, U.S. Because I'm sure Russia. I mean, look how big Russia is.
Russia-
but it's
but
not
Russia's
one
next to a
country.
bunch of little
Exactly.
Oh.
It's the longest
Oh my God,
undefended
it doesn't
border.
even make the list.
What's the longest border? Didn't understand the question.
Hold on. Longest. Sorry, repeat what you just said. Sorry, I didn't.
The longest border between two countries.
Okay. Land border. Canada's border with the United States is the world's longest international border at 8,890 kilometers.
From sea to shining sea. Yeah, okay.
This compares with the 6,846 kilometer boundary between Russia and Kazakhstan and the 5,308 kilometer frontier between Chile and Argentina.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
that's
'cause Chile's long, right?
Yeah.
Chile's like, hey, we got all the beach.
Hey, you know what else is long?
Yeah. They don't do the whole thing. I think Colombia is north, but then, yeah.
They got most of it, though.
Yeah.
Chile.
Chile,
I like
Chile.
saying Chile.
One thing that I got to give props to, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but the PQ,
Oh, God.
the Parti Québécois, their new leader is showing a lot of maturity, and he's proposing things that we haven't seen in a long time, at least here in Quebec politics. It's usually
Such as?
like bullshit, like we talk about,
Yeah.
we spoke about before about the protecting cross dressers and whatever the fuck, the drag queens' rights. But this guy came up. And he is playing his role at a different level of responsibility. I mentioned before that there's a new bill in place to reform healthcare, and naturally the oppositions are going to blast the government for doing this. This guy rose up and said, "Listen, we need to have this reform. So we're not going to ask any questions in the House about health reform. We're not gonna play this theater." It's going to go to committee anyway. We're going to focus most our effort in committee to study the bill and to make propositions and, period. I'm like, you know what? Fucking that's amazing. That's what you should be doing.
What is that?
Nothing. We'll show you later.
Yeah,
And
go
then, so I'm like, you know what, man? That makes a lot of fucking sense, man. Good on you, dude. You know what I mean? And then a couple days after that, he comes up with a proposition for the government of Quebec to legislate on making sure that all elementary school children get a free lunch in Quebec, which is fucking fantastic. And I don't know why this hasn't been done before, because we know that, what is it?
Sorry, hold on. Breaking news.
Yeah.
There's a massive fire in the southwest.
Yeah, I saw that. It's on Fulham, right under the Jacques
You saw it
Cartier
before we
Bridge.
started?
They were talking about on the radio. There was smoke when I was crossing the bridge.
Poseidon, try and find it.
Yeah.
Look at the bridge look at that from downtown.
But there were two. There was one in Oshlaga, and there
It's
was
all
one.
industrial
Is
there,
that the bridge? Yeah,
That's
that's the one.
exactly,
It's 1000 Fulham. It's the government building.
49 minutes ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dozens
breaking-
out of their
breaking
homes in
edge, sorry.
Oshlaga Maisonneuve after Wednesday morning fire.
So
All those
anyway,
hookers are on the street now.
yeah.
What else is different?
So anyway,
We're forgetting
proposition to have lunches for free for all elementary school children, regardless of their financial situation. I think it's a great idea, and
Except for rich people should pay.
no, man, no, you're in school, man. Your kid gets a free lunch.
I mean, if you're in a public school, yeah.
Because when you're looking at the statistics of how many kids are not fed well in Quebec, it's impressive. I think across Canada, it's over 30% of kids.
My kids are on that list. They refuse to eat anything I give them. We send lunch, they bring it back.
Yeah.
Except for the cookie.
You know what we started doing the last 2 weeks? And
Hitting them.
pow!
Why you don't eat your arepas that I made you? Why you don't eat your arepas? George, talk to them.
They are muy deliciosos. No, so
Bro, it's
You
okay
did that
when I
re-
make fun of your wife.
You did that really well.
You can't do it. It's not
I
alright.
can do whatever I want. She's my wife. But what's
Hey, equality.
So we there's this program. I'm guessing all of the public schools have it as well. It's like a lunchbox thing. Like you pay, and every day they have a menu. And they deliver the food to the school, and they give them to the kids that are part of that program.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
can't find
And
video.
it
We have some. I mean, my kids are in a private school.
Yeah.
But that's why we're homeless. Kid still can't. She still can't read Greek. So yeah, they're in a private school, but we do have hot lunch set up with like a business. Like they provide lunches. You order.
That's what it
from
is.
a-
Yeah.
My kids don't want any of it.
What's
so
it called?
Ours is with Ilion, actually. You know the Greek place on Van Horn.
No.
The caterer.
Okay.
Her food is delicious. Fully, I know her a bit.
Yeah.
She's a caterer.
Ilion.
Us is called.
Why are you so excited for a caterer? You need a caterer?
Yeah.
For what?
How do you spell it? ILION?
I think it's 2 L's. Are you proposing?
No. Here's the thing. I'm trying to.
I'm curious to see where this goes. I'm gonna love it.
Oh, it's 1L, by the way.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I was also looking at like mucho burrito. So I want to cater. I want to do like 100 burritos, all different flavors,
The Greek place. They're not gonna do burritos.
and then I'm gonna freeze them. I'm talking about the burrito place, but
Oh.
since there's a Greek place at this catering, I
so
might look into
you
the
also
Greek place.
saw that Instagram reel where it makes more sense to actually freeze takeout food for the month.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't
No,
think
no,
that's
not
actually
not
real.
no. I did this already. I prepared like 9 burritos, pork burritos with like veggie salsa,
Whatever. Yeah.
whatever the
Stuff
fuck
you
a ton of
like.
stuff, cheese, etc. And like all relatively healthy stuff. The only unhealthy part is the bread itself, right?
And the
But
rice.
it's- I don't put rice in mine.
Oh, okay.
But the bread is very thin. It's very minimal calories and sugar intake, right?
To your point.
every time I want to have lunch and I didn't have time to prepare food with my girlfriend or whatever, or she didn't have time to prepare, or whoever didn't have time to prepare because we're both busy, I just grab 2 burritos from the freezer, put them in my lunchbox. When I go to work or wherever I am, eat those. Bam, that's my meal for the day, boy.
So what are you trying to solve? The making of the burritos?
I'm trying to solve, well, because I don't have that much time. I'm trying to solve also me going out to eat like fast food, like McDonald's,
Well, I'm.
stuff like that.
I don't
But
have
they
a
have,
Quebecois wife,
like
so
they
she
have
cooks for me.
No, my girl
cook it, or they have all these things that
no,
they
just
just
joking.
but she cooks as well. It's just sometimes like she studies.
I
food.
get it. I eat out
You know
all the
what I
time
mean?
because we don't have time, or I don't take, or like
know-
today I didn't take leftovers
Yeah,
because
yeah,
You know what we
had fish
tried?
last night.
You
I'm not
know,
gonna
you know
eat
what we
fish here.
tried, and we only did it for like 1 or 2 weeks there.
Good food.
Eh?
Good food.
Was it good food or cook it? I can't
One
remember what
of
it was.
those,
It was
yeah.
one of those things
We did it
where,
for a while.
where
We
you
got
buy,
bored,
they
though.
send you a box. We kept the fucking menus though,
That's what we did too.
and then we just yeah.
There's a few stuff that I tried.
But
from
it's
good
pretty
food.
cool, like for people that have very limited time or they're rushing or whatever. It's perfect, right? They
Yeah, we
send you
have
everything.
good
You just
food.
put it, you cook it, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I don't know. We got bored of like don't tell me what to fucking eat. Like that's what it was. It was like I'll eat what I want.
No, but it's pretty cool because sometimes, like, even though you have the stuff at home, you don't think, oh, shit, I gotta cook that. Like, you don't think to
Honestly,
cook these things.
the bane of our existence is Sunday afternoon. What do you want to eat this week? I don't fucking know.
Oh, you do that before. We wake up
We
every day
try
and we're
to.
like, what do we have? What do
Yeah,
we
but you guys
defrost?
have flexible schedules where
yeah.
you can just go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
I do. Anna doesn't. She doesn't like how I grocery shop.
Yeah.
She says I just buy whatever. Which I do. In her
Yeah,
defense, I more or
yeah.
less buy whatever. Because in my head, I'm like, I'm not going to go somewhere else where it's cheaper. I need this. I want it. I'm buying it.
I'm the same way.
Bro, I'm the same way. My wife's okay. You're gonna go there, buy this stuff, then go. I'm not.
Just the
dude,
money I'm
not.
spending on gas.
I'm not
it
gonna
negates
fucking
it.
run around.
But I will
buying
say
shit.
this though, and this is not an ad, and I don't know them. We're not related. I went to Atlantis in Laval, the supermarket.
Okay.
A week before, I bought and not meats, like everything else.
Vegetables, fruits.
Vegetables, fruits, and like cheeses and shelf stuff, pantry stuff. A week or 2 weeks prior, I had bought more or less the exact same stuff at like Metro. I spent $180. We're a family of 4. I went to Atlantis. I bought the same stuff, give or take 1% of stuff, $64.
What?
And it was fresher and it's better.
no way.
Yeah.
No way.
I freaked because it's in Laval. I'm not gonna drive to Laval,
Yeah.
but that's a big fucking. It's not even about that it was cheaper. It actually the produce looked better. Like they had more selection.
No way.
I was blown away,
That's fantastic.
and I bought.
I'm
Kulura.
gonna test this.
Yeah, Kulurakia.
I'm gonna test this.
Do it.
Do it.
Go now.
Okay.
Get up. Go.
It's not like you're opposed to getting up and just leaving.
But back to the back to the proposal that the PQ is doing.
It's so hot in here. Why?
Yeah, it is very
It
hot.
just got really
I
hot.
bring that
Like,
heat, baby.
When you think
Look
of
at how I'm
all,
dressed.
when you think of all
Phil
the
is
garbage,
turned on right now.
is
That's
not
the
turned
issue.
on.
when
Look
you
at how
think
I'm
of all the
dressed.
garbage that is being discussed in Parliament, when you could have valuable propositions like this that actually could make a difference in people's daily lives, you wonder why the fuck wasn't shit like this ever spoken about before? You know what? So good on that.
I
Like,
mean, this is less important than whether or not a they can be a he.
yeah, right.
This is not important.
Like
Hungry kids, George.
feeding our kids.
What the fuck is wrong
Right.
with you?
Yeah.
We're gonna feed them. Why? Why? So they can stay alive, and then we have to fucking cover them later.
I wanna go back. Probably the last thing we're gonna talk about, because we've spoken on previous episodes about how ridiculous it is for big developers to
Low income housing. Is that where
yeah,
you're
yeah.
going?
You know, not only low income housing, but just general housing projects, right? And we spoke about a couple of weeks ago how the blue bonnets, the old hippodrome, no one applied
blue
for the.
Yeah, blue bonnets.
What's the blue bonnet?
That's
It was the old hippodrome,
racetrack.
the carry in the back of the carry.
okay.
Yeah.
Called blue bonnets.
Or Jean Talon there, at the end of Jean Talon. So we spoke.
Can I just confess
Yeah.
something? When I was a kid, I thought the hippodrome was a place where hippos raced. I didn't know. And my dad explained to me, I'm like, that's stupid. Because hippo racing is way cooler.
It would be. So there was a project there. There were calls for projects. There was a bidding call actually.
Yeah.
And no one fucking
Yeah, no one
applied.
wants
Zero.
that land.
Embarrassing. No, it's not that. It's because of the criteria that the city of Montreal imposes.
Oh, that's what I mean. Like
Uh,
with the criteria, nobody wants that land. What are
And
they gonna do? It's
then
not worth it.
and then following that, there was the budget in Quebec City where Legault gave zero money for social housing. And the mayor of Montreal got pissed, like, "Oh my God, why we? It was part of our priorities on the list, like to receive money from the government." And the answer to that is like, listen, even if I fucking give you the money, are you prepared to initiate tomorrow projects that are going to?
What'd she say?
Well, no, that's me. No, he didn't say
Oh,
that. You know,
uh-huh.
so
He should've.
so then, Following that now, I don't know if you guys heard on Van Horn, there's this old industrial building.
That one?
Yeah, you know Van Horn.
That's like the.
It's like a staple of my land. It's
it's like you have the water tower on top.
Yeah.
You know you're exiting Outremont.
yeah, exactly. And
You're leaving
going,
Park Avenue and
you're going
into
towards
the hood.
Rosemont or whatever. Yeah.
There's French people beyond that bridge.
So that building, I don't know if it's
Van Horn and when you go over and Van Horn becomes Rosemont.
yeah, man, Van Horn and Jean Mance. From Jean Mance, I think to St. Lawrence.
I don't know.
There's
man,
this
you
huge brown
you cross
building.
Park Avenue. You're going east on Van Horn, and then you go over right.
This thing.
Oh,
Right
you
before,
go over
there's
Saint
that
Laurent.
bridge.
Oh yeah,
Everybody knows it's a staple. Sometimes it's graffitied like a
Yeah, it's a
NTSC
big
color.
red building. It's a huge
Yeah.
red building. And
What are they gonna do with it?
well, there's a company, there's a developer that wants to convert that into like a boutique hotel. Which is
Interesting.
nice. Which
That's
is it's a
interesting.
nice idea because of the nature of the area and how hip it's becoming and how development is happening around
That's
the sector.
interesting. Yeah, because there's a lot of like Mile End tours, right? People
Yeah,
come to Montreal
yeah,
for
sure.
the Mile End. It's like our Williamsburg.
And it's pretty cool. Like the train tracks there. Like something interesting could happen there. Like something hip.
George is hip. He gets it. He's down.
I'm
with
not
it.
hip at all, but all I'm trying to say is that it was turned down. It was turned down. No.
Condos, eh?
No, they don't know what to do because apparently there was a survey online. It was conducted online. There were, I think,
People like the building.
there was 10,000 people, and the majority, 42% weren't happy with the idea or the concept of a boutique hotel. I don't know what
Why?
other percentage wasn't happy to have commercial spots on the basement floor, and it's like all these little stupidities
Why? Like
What's the street?
logic?
Sorry, what's the street?
Van Horn,
that on Van
bro.
Horn,
Van Horn and what?
Van Horn and Jean Mance,
Saint Urban.
Saint Urban.
Saturba.
I don't know.
Yeah, because
It's-
you come around, Saint Urban goes under, right?
Yeah, it's right before the overpass.
What are you trying to find?
I'm just trying to.
He
see
still doesn't understand where it is.
Street view.
Yeah, it's a huge red building, bro.
You're a huge red building.
Okay. So anyway, so now, so just to get everyone
I
on
had
board
films that
here.
Played at Cannes.
Eh?
Cannes. Festival de Cannes. I had films that played there. You were in politics, like you were serving the people, and this is where we are now. I'm drawing fucking elephant thongs.
So just to finish up on this thing, so it got turned down. They're sending the developers back to the drawing board, and these guys now have, in addition to have to design a project, they have to listen to
Random people's
random
input.
people's thoughts of what they want rather than what is feasible because they're the pros.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fucking
So
10
who
minutes later.
Who answered
Yeah,
this
I
survey?
know this.
Different people.
When
had
they
it-
do surveys like this, you should have to give your postal code and like address.
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
so, if do you live in the like? If I don't know,
Is that a grave?
Johnny Bro who lives in Laval. I don't
Johnny
care.
Bro.
Yeah, Johnny Bro who lives in Laval.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't care what he wants for the
Yeah, yeah,
Mile-End.
exactly.
He doesn't pay taxes here.
So not only that, but the whole procedure is so time consuming. It has to
Yeah.
go to public consultation. They have to show what they're gonna do. Then
I
you
mean,
have
look,
the community
look,
groups
hold
that
on,
have a
hold
say
hold
on it.
Hold on. Everyone should have a say in land in the city. Like there should be some kind of public consultation. I understand that it's slow and Byzantine.
I
and
think
annoying,
if
but
it's
still.
a private fucking building, if it was a private sale and you bought it and the property
But
belongs
is the
to
city
you,
involved in the rebuild?
no,
Oh, then do whatever you
it's a
want.
private project.
Oh,
it's
that's
a
ridiculous then. Yeah.
but
is
the
it a
city-
heritage site?
I don't think it is.
I don't think so
I don't
either.
think it is. But
I mean, I consider it one because it's one of those staples.
It's cool,
of,
yeah.
It's there. It's always been there.
But look, I understand the point
That's
of view
terrible
that
heritage to have.
the city has a responsibility on what goes up, even though it's a private thing,
And what goes down?
and what goes down. But the fact that you have to impose all this
It seems
procedure, and like, no wonder nothing happens.
no
Fuck,
kidding.
no wonder.
A lot of red tape.
Red tape and green tape.
And green tape.
Yeah.
And gay tape.
Blue tape. Gay tape.
So
that
that's it.
that
I just,
tape identifies as ruban adhesive.
adhesive.
Doesn't identify as tapey.
So yeah, so all that just to prove another point that everything is just slow. Man.
I don't know how I
Everything
feel
is
about
just
a
fucking-
boutique. Like I understand that it could probably be a good thing,
Hmm.
but at the same time, it seems pointless.
I don't think so. I mean, look, it's going to definitely
look at what
revive that
they
area
did.
because.
Look at what they did on the Carry. The Carry and Côte d'Ivoire, all of a sudden we have hotels
Oh
everywhere.
yeah, okay.
Why?
Who cares?
Who's staying there?
People? I
Those
mean,
could have been homes, not condos.
Yeah, okay,
homes.
yeah.
At least townhouses.
Mm.
Like at Cité Midtown there. You know where Cité Midtown is, where the 15 and the 40 meet northwest.
Mhm.
They built all these condos. That neighborhood didn't need more condos. It needed homes. So like, this could be homes. It could be a little neighborhood. I mean, the train tracks are there, so not really. Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
I
No,
don't mind.
take it
I don't
back.
mind incorporating an aspect of social housing.
Not social housing, just homes. Fuck socialized housing. Just houses that people can buy to live in.
Condos. Yeah.
No condos, houses.
You can't have houses because
Why?
Because there's no space. You got to
there.
build up.
No, there. A townhouse, 3 floors, whatever.
Whatever it is.
Give me an elevator, it's okay.
No, but you know what? Look, at the end of the day, I mean, that's such a dark part of the Milan. It's like that transition between
Outremonte
civilization.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's going to revive it. I think, but I think it's going to change the look of it. Look what's happening on Beaumont, for example.
Make it a museum.
Make it a mall.
Museum there, really?
Yeah, why
A
not?
mall.
A mall. Sky Mall. That's not going to be on Beaumont. Don't forget Sky Mall, eh? Sky Mall 2027.
God.
Never forget.
Is
All
it,
right.
is it really coming?
No, dude.
You have to ask Pantelis. He's the main developer. Put the music on. It's so gross and so hot and dry in this room right now. There's
You're
just too many
welcome.
mans in here.
Men's,
welcome.
Man's not hot.
Am I turning you on, Phil?
No, bro. No. Disgust doesn't even begin to describe. Especially the way you are right now. You remind me of like a not famous AIDS-ridden wrestler from the 80s.
I'm a redneck.
No, you're not. Too ethnic to look redneck. My name is Phil, guys. Phil Balbanos. You can check the stuff I do out. I'm just like fucking face. Look at him. Balbanos.com where you can find out more about me. George has a new Politiquement Parlant podcast. I think today was a good episode.
It was excellent.
It was excellent. The parts where Poseidon said things that were not pertinent, they were okay. And we will be looking to replace him. In the meantime, I am Poseidon.com is where you can find out more about him, but there isn't much to know. He's quite two-dimensional. What you see is what you get.
You mean
And
I'm
there's plenty to
four-dimensional,
see.
and you can't perceive the fourth dimension, sir? Which makes
time?
with your simple
I can't
mind,
perceive time.
your simple mind cannot comprehend, so you perceive me as two-dimensional.
This has been another morning show.
Patreon.com/Pantelis.
Yeah, that one. You can find out all the good stuff on Patreon. And oh God, sometimes do you hear you? Do you hear you? Everyone, thank you for joining us. It's nice to be back. Friday, are you in, George?
No, Friday's impossible.
Wow, you're
impossible?
such a whore.
Yeah,
You're such
okay.
a tease.
He just put in the tip, the Wednesday tip, and then
Yeah.
he's out. Cut and run. Thank you
You
guys.
slut.
Have a great
Ciao,
rest of
everyone.
your Wednesday.
And don't forget, children, don't have sex with your siblings.